Hi, if you have not been here for the past couple of days, we've been working on changing percents to decimals and finding some tips, taxes, and discounts. So before you do the graded worksheet, I want you to do a quick little review with me on this before you do the worksheet so you're not completely lost. So the first thing before you can do the worksheet is that you have to know how to change the percents to its decimal equivalent. So percent means out of 100. So all you do is change 6% and you move your decimal point 2 places to the left to make it its decimal equivalent because it's out of 100. So 6%, 0.06. 12%, 0.12. 35%, 0.35. 1% is 0.01. And 156% is 1.56. It's more than 100%. So let's take a quick little look. When we find a percent of something, you multiply. So if you wanted to find out what 6% of 12 is, you can take a quick little calculator, or you can just multiply it by its decimal equivalent and figure it out. On your iReady, you're not going to have a calculator. So it's really important that you do know how to multiply this out. So change your 6% to its decimal equivalent, which is 0.06, and you multiply it by 12. So just as a quick little reminder here, to multiply with decimals, take your 12 times 0.606. You don't have to line up your decimals. So 6 times 2 is your 12. 6. You got your 72, and we've got 2 digits behind your decimal point, so 0.72. So in order to find out what 12% of 12 is, you change it to its decimal equivalent, 0.12 times 12, and we get 1.44. 35% of 12, change it to its decimal equivalent, times it by 12, and that comes to 4.2. And then finally 1%, that is 0.01 times 12, and you get 0.12. Really easy when you want to find a percent of a number. Okay. So let's move on to some examples. So if you're here when we did our Pedro's Grill worksheet, we did a little bit of multiplying and finding out a little bit about taxes and tips. Let me move it back to the mouse if I can. Let me clear the screen first. All right. So let's take a look at our example. Your meal comes to $12.45, tax is 6%. How much was your tax? So you got to take your $12.45 and find out what 6% is. Now change it to its decimal equivalent, which is 0.06. And when you multiply that, you get decimal 747. Tax is money. So in our hundreds place, that's where your pennies are. So you have to look all the way to your pennies. But then the 7 that's in your thousands place is going to determine if your tax is going to remain at 74 cents or go up to 75 cents. So that 7 is going to tell you for it to go up. So your tax is 75 cents. To find out how much your total is, pretty simple. You take your original price plus your tax, and when you add them up, you get $13.20. So that's what your total is. Very simple. So let's go to our next example. Let's say you want to give your server a tip. Remember, we were talking about servers getting their tips. A good tip is about 20%. So in order to find out what 20% of 1245 is, take our 1245, times it by its decimal equivalent, which is 0.20. And so when you do that, you get $2.49, and that's what the tip would be. So most important thing that I need you to remember, this is very important, taxes and tips are always added to get your total. Now discounts are the opposite. They're sales, and they're going to be subtracted from your original amount. So let's take a look at a couple of examples from here. So let's say you buy a lunch that totals $34.95. You get a 15% discount because it's your birthday. Remember, discounts are subtracted from your total. So we want to find out what 15% is. So we just take our $34.95 times 15% by its decimal equivalent. And when you put that into your calculator, and yes, you can use your calculator, remember, on the graded worksheet, and you times it by 0.15, you get 5.2425. Remember, we're always dealing with money. So that 2 is going to tell me to just keep that 4 exactly the same. So the discount that you save off of your bill is $5.24. And so your new total is you take your $34.95, which was the original price, and you subtract what the discount was, which is 2 or $5.24. And your bill now is going to be $29.71. So a good savings there. On your practice sheet or on your graded worksheet that you're going to see in just a few minutes, I wanted to go ahead and do some practice problems. So that way you can kind of see exactly what I need from you in order to solve these properly. Okay. So if you take a look at number 1, it'll just give you the information and what the tax is. Some of them might be taxes, tips, or the discount. So it's really important that you pay attention. Remember, tax and tips are always going to be added to the total. So $14.98 times the 7% tax, which is its decimal equivalent. So when you plug that into your calculator, $14.98 times 0.07, you get 1.0486. Now you're only going to your pennies, remember? So that 8 is going to tell your 4 to go up. So the tax on this is $1.05. And since this is a tax, it's going to be added to your bill. So $1.05 plus $14.98. Your total that you're going to have to pay is $16.03. Let's take a look at the next example. Your dinner is $26.95. You get a 12.5% discount. So you're going to take your $26.95, change your 12.5% to its decimal equivalent, which is 0.125. So when I put that into the calculator, $26.95 times 0.125, you get 3.3687, blah, blah, blah. So look to your pennies. That 8's going to tell that to go up. Your discount is $3.37. Remember, discounts are subtracted from the original. So $26.95 minus $3.37. So your new total is only $23.58. What a bargain. So the last 2 problems here, number 3 gave a lot of problems, literally, to a lot of students today. So here's the first thing. If you're buying something that is $13,000, in your calculator, you do not have a comma. So today, most students put in 13.000. That means that you just bought a car for $13. Please don't do that. 13,000, when you plug it into your calculator, is 13000. Okay, you don't put the comma in. In order to find the 15% discount, change it to its decimal form. So 13000 times 0.15, and you get $1,950 as a savings. Since it's a discount, we subtract. So we subtract that $1,950, and our sale price of our car now is $11,050. Last thing, you got a $5.99 notebook, 5% tax. Since it's a tax, remember, don't forget that you have to add that to get to your total. So $5.99 times your 5% tax, their decimal form, and you get 0.2995. So here's our pennies, but that 9 is going to tell us to go up, so our tax is 30 cents. So now your notebook, which was $5.99, and we have to add 30 cents to it, it's now $6.29. So on this next sheet for your graded sales tax tip and discount, you can use a calculator. Round your answer to the nearest cent if needed. Now it says find the answer on the coloring sheet. You don't have a coloring sheet. Just forget all that stuff. So don't even worry about it, okay? So if you take a look at your first thing, 2680, 8% tax, just like our problems. So you're going to put the tax money right here and find out what the total is. So if you need to, double check that you're doing a tax, tip, tax. You got a discount. So take your time on this. Send this to me whenever you can, hopefully within the next day or two, so I can get this put into the grade book. If you have any questions, let me know. Thanks. Hope you're feeling better.